First Detroit Auto Show in 3 years.
Yeah.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over.
Former Vice President Joe Biden had an interview on 60 Minutes last night. It was pre-recorded, but they dropped it last night. 60 Minutes interview. He made us look so much more weaker, more discombobulated, and frankly, more confused as a nation, even more last night on 60 Minutes. Now, I want to touch over a couple things, highlight a couple key points. I'm not going to go over the whole interview. The video going to be all day. But he said the pandemic is over, made inflation, 40-year high inflation, seem like not a big deal. Didn't confirm if he was going to run in 2024 or not. And also, China is not happy on how he talking about we going to put troops in Taiwan if China threatens and invades, which is a big no-no. You never show your hand. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand doing. Don't let the enemy know your move. All basic common knowledge Joe Biden seems to just let slip through his old mind. But without further ado, let's play this clip of him talking about if China invades Taiwan. Roll the clip.
In a situation where
President Biden appeared to change U.S. foreign policy towards Taiwan during an interview with Scott Pelley on 60 Minutes. The official policy is that the U.S. recognizes Taiwan as a part of China, but remains silent on whether the U.S. military would defend the democratic government there.
There's a one China policy, and Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
The White House later said the official policy remains the same, but China's foreign ministry spokesperson denounced the interview, saying the Chinese side expresses strong dissatisfaction and firm opposition and has lodged stern representations with the U.S. side. China has conducted military exercises in the Strait of Taiwan throughout the summer.
Yeah, you see right there. China not happy. China not going for it. They hear and see everything we do. We the big dogs, right? So our adversaries and our enemies are on it like hornets. It's just what it is. The White House got to backtrack and go behind and clean up his mess once again. This ain't the first mistake he made regarding China and Taiwan, U.S. relations. Sloppy Joe. That's Joe, Sloppy Joe. He a Sloppy Joe sandwich, man. At this point, it's clear. Another point, he was asked about inflation. How it's a 40-year high still. He makes it not a big deal, downplays it, act like he can relate. You know what? Let's roll this clip.
The wide-ranging interview also delved into a number of issues the president is dealing with at home.
It's the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that. But guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months it hasn't spiked. It has just it's been basically even.
Former President Trump slammed the president's economic policies during a rally in Ohio this weekend.
We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, and where the stock market finished the worst first half of the year since 1872.
While a rematch between Trump and Biden remains a strong possibility, the president refused to say if he would run again in 2024.
So yeah, of course, Donald Trump had a rally in Ohio this weekend. It was going off, rightfully so, calling out the hypocrisy, double standards, and the lack of leadership coming from this administration. And he unsure, Joe Biden unsure, if he going to be running for president again in 2024. We all know why. He incompetent, and he knows it. Now, lastly, I don't want to see Nobody wearing masks. I don't want to hear about no vaccine mandates. Although, for example, New York just fired a bunch of teachers for not getting a jab. DC kids can't go to school without getting a jab. But yet, President Biden, he said the pandemic is over. I just did a video about Dr. Fauci a couple months ago, been saying the pandemic was over. So like I said, I don't want to see and hear about no more mandates, no more masks. You know what? Roll this last clip of Joe Biden talking about the pandemic.
First Detroit Auto Show in 3 years.
Yeah.
Is the pandemic over?
The pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. But the pandemic is over. If you notice, no one's wearing masks. Everybody seems to be in pretty good shape. And so I think it's changing, and I think this is a perfect example of it.
Yeah, and I'm going to leave it at that. I can go on and on and on about that 60 Minutes interview last night. We look weak. We look inept, incompetent as a nation just because of this leader. A fish rots from the head down. Look, so much more to talk about. I can be all day, all night talking about Sloppy Joe, but I got to get going. Yeah, we need more leaders, less followers. I'm out.